Why don't you hold one and I'll hold one?
All right.
We'll interview each other.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like that? Oh, okay.
Sure, beautiful.
All right.
All right, so we're here with Tim from Arcade Fire. I gotta ask, this is the first time that we've spoken to anybody from the band since the big night, as it's come to be known, the Grammys night.
Yeah.
You know, when the band first started, you know, first EP, first, you know, album on Merge, where you guys were, at the time, I think, being outsold by bands like Magnetic Fields or Superchunk or things like that on Merge. Did any idea it was ever going to be this, ever?
I certainly didn't expect to win the Grammy like that. That was very shocking, yeah. I mean, a lot of what we've been through has been there's been a lot of surprises, and it's been, it's been fun. It sort of has come at a really nice pace. It's been because we started touring about 6 years ago, and it feels like we just sort of...
Right, it's been a very gradual thing.
Yeah, but it's been really, it's been very exciting the whole time, because it's like, oh, we're selling out 200-person rooms. This is really amazing. Oh, you're going to Europe. Wow, this is awesome. And just sort of that kind of build has just been very exciting and satisfying.
Well, it's always interesting to talk to bands that do remember what it's like. Where, what do you mean per diem? We get money to buy food? I can't believe this. And it is a big deal. But I guess, kind of going back to that, my question is, was it ever, let's say, the intention of the band to be this big? When you read those early interviews with U2, they started that band, and you read any of those four guys, and they'll say, we wanted to be the biggest band in the world.
No, we never talked about that, ever. I remember speaking with Wynn about, what our idea of success would be, in terms of just making it as a band. That's a great question.
What was the idea back then, and what is it now?
Well, it's interesting. There's two sides of it, because part of it, and still the part that I think has served us best, is that when we write music, it has to be music we love, and it has to be music we really feel good about, and that's the important half of it. And then the other half that feeds you and allows you to live is, I honestly, I was really surprised when we started making a living as musicians, but as we went on, as it started, even back then, I remember talking with Wynn about it, and I was like, we could be selling, if we could be playing small theaters, that would be amazing. That was that was huge to me. It still is huge to me, actually. It's amazing that we can do what we do, and just what we're doing now is kind of beyond what
You're playing a slightly bigger joint than a small.
No, I know, and it's amazing. It's and it's very exciting, because now we can experiment with all sorts of new things, tonight we have a bunch of stuff planned that we would never have been able to do before, and in terms of the show, and now we have a whole video show, and it's a big part of it now, and it's just being able to experiment with all those mediums is a lot of fun.
Well, you talked about being happy when you actually could start making a living at it. What was the last job you had before you knew that you could do this for a living?
The very last job I had was I was doing a market research, basically I was a phone jockey, calling up doctors at doctors' offices and doing interviews for a pharmaceutical market research company.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was hell. It was awful. Yeah. Before that, I was at a grocery store.
I had that gig.
Oh yeah.
I was the take it out to the car guy.
I did that too. Yeah.
In 107-degree weather in Dallas.
Oh, okay. So for me, it was
terrible.
For me, it was minus 30 degrees Celsius.
I don't know what would be worse, either freezing to death or melting.
It's true. Yeah, it's fair. Working in that heat is probably more exhausting than working in the cold. And the cold's painful.
I remember I used to get so excited when somebody would tip me, even a quarter or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
It was just like, hey, I can buy nothing. Yeah. This is awesome. Thank you for your generosity.
Yeah,
exactly. Totally. All right, so the random question segment of our interview. When was the last time that you cried, and why?
Last time I cried would be... It's a hard one, actually. When was the last time I cried? Probably with my wife, fairly recently, but I can't even think of the exact thing. it probably had something to do with being on tour, actually, and just like, you know, the challenges around that.
It's surprising. Yeah. I ask that question all the time, and you don't get that as much as, I was watching Toy Story 3 when they almost died in the incinerator. I bawled like a child. And it's like, not that many people, I guess, worry about being away from their loved ones.
Yeah, no, it's,
You're the best person that we've ever interviewed.
Actually, you know what? I'm sure. I'm sure. You know what?
Are you about to change it to Toy Story 3?
No. Actually,
you're a horrible person.
This is really,
Tim,
is really lame, actually. But it's. I was really late at night the other night, and I was on the bus, and I watched the episode of the episode of The Office where Michael announced he's leaving, and I got teary.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sure that your wife's really happy to hear that now.
Yeah,
that was it.
But I got teary. With Natalie was crying.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. What is your most prized possession? You can't say like your wife's love, or something like that. I don't want to hear that.
Well, no, we just bought a farm, and I'm extremely excited. It's just this gorgeous place that I'm extremely excited about. So I'd say right now that's probably just having that access to that is just amazing.
What was the last thing you bought on eBay?
It was last thing I bought. It was an egg poacher.